Hello everyone, this is my first content. Please subscribe, like, and comment. A rainy night in a cozy cabin. The rain had been falling for hours. Not the loud, stormy kind. Not the kind that startles or demands attention. But a soft, steady rain. Gentle drops tapping against the wooden roof, sliding down the windows in slow, winding paths. Inside the cabin, everything felt warm. A small fire crackled quietly in the stone fireplace, its golden light flickering across the wooden walls. The air carried a comforting scent, a mix of burning pine wood and the faint sweetness of old timber that had stood through many seasons. You sat near the window, wrapped in a thick blanket. Outside, the forest stretched endlessly into the darkness. Tall trees swayed slightly under the weight of the rain, their leaves whispering softly in the wind. Every now and then, a distant rumble of thunder rolled across the sky, not sharp or frightening, just a low, sleepy echo, the kind of sound that made you feel safe rather than afraid. You took a slow breath. The warmth of the cabin wrapped around you like a quiet hug. Your shoulders relaxed, your thoughts slowed, and for the first time all day, there was nowhere else you needed to be. Just here, just now. The cabin itself was simple. It had been built many years ago, tucked away deep in the forest where the world felt far away. The wooden floors creaked softly with age, each step telling a quiet story of the past. Shelves lined the walls, holding a small collection of books, some worn, some forgotten, all waiting patiently to be opened again. A kettle rested on the stove, gently steaming. Every so often, it let out a soft hiss, a reminder that time was still moving, even if it felt like it had slowed down inside these walls. You stood up slowly, your blanket still draped over your shoulders, and walked toward the kitchen area. The floor was warm beneath your feet, heated by the fire that never quite went out. You poured yourself a cup of tea. The steam rose in delicate curls, disappearing into the soft glow of the room. You wrapped your hands around the mug, feeling the warmth seep into your fingers. Outside, the rain continued its steady rhythm. Tap, tap. It felt almost like a lullaby. You returned to your seat by the window. The glass was cool to the touch. Tiny droplets gathered and raced each other downward, merging and splitting in quiet, unpredictable patterns. You found yourself watching them without thinking, your mind drifting, your breathing slowing. Somewhere in the distance, an owl called out. A single, low note, then silence again. The forest was alive but calm, as if everything was settling down for the night, just like you. The fire shifted slightly, sending a small shower of sparks upward before settling again. Shadows danced along the walls, moving slowly, lazily, never rushing. You leaned back in your chair. The blanket felt heavier now, not in a burdensome way, but in a comforting one, like it was gently encouraging you to sink deeper, to let go. Your eyelids grew just a little heavier. There was something about rainy nights like this. They made the world feel smaller, quieter, safer. All the noise, all the rush, all the endless motion of everyday life seemed to fade away, replaced by something simpler. Just the sound of rain, just the warmth of the fire, just the quiet presence of being. You glanced around the cabin again. A small lamp glowed softly on a wooden table. Next to it lay an open book, its pages slightly curled at the edges. You didn't remember the last time you read it, and somehow that didn't matter. Tonight wasn't about doing, it was about resting. The wind picked up slightly outside, brushing against the walls with a soft, whispering sound. The trees responded with a gentle rustle, their branches swaying in slow harmony. Nothing was urgent. Nothing was demanding your attention. Everything simply was. You took another sip of tea. It had cooled slightly, but it was still warm enough to comfort you. The taste was mild, calming, the kind that didn't distract, but instead settled quietly into the background. Your breathing became slower, in and out, in and out, each breath a little deeper than the last. What was once a steady rhythm became lighter, quieter, more spaced out. The drops still fell, but now they felt even gentler, like the night itself was preparing to sleep. The fire crackled once more, then settled into a soft glow. You shifted slightly in your seat, pulling the blanket closer around you. Your body felt heavy, relaxed, supported. Your mind, once full of thoughts and distractions, now drifted like the rain outside. Slow, quiet, effortless. Time passed, but it didn't feel like time anymore. It felt like stillness. Somewhere between waking and sleeping, you noticed how peaceful everything felt. The cabin, the rain, the forest, the quiet warmth that surrounded you. It all blended together into one gentle moment, a moment that didn't need to end. Your eyes closed slowly, not because you had, but because it felt natural, comfortable, easy. The sounds of the night continued softly around you. The faint patter of rain, the low crackle of the fire, the distant whisper of the wind through the trees, each sound weaving together into a calm, endless rhythm. Your breathing slowed even more, deep, steady, peaceful, and as you rested there, wrapped in warmth, surrounded by quiet, the world outside faded completely, leaving only calm, only stillness, only rest. And the cabin, with its soft light and gentle warmth, stood quietly in the forest, holding that peaceful moment all through the night.